I'm gonna start off with the, I'm gonna little Craig. I'm gonna start off with the New York Jets, man. You know, I think the Jets are gonna win the division. Psych. Let me stop. Y'all didn't even believe me. All right, I didn't sell it good. The head coach, uh, Robert Salah, he's in his second year, so he's in the second year with a second-year quarterback. Um, they were bad the first year. I just want to see a little bit more improvement. Once again, the league is turned into an offense. Not to say it shouldn't be some defensive coaches, but we're gonna see if he was a good hire. But once again, it all depends on on Zach Wilson. So they're tied to the hip. So it's only their second year. I tend to give a little bit. I'm pretty patient. But I think he has to show some improvement. I think he still gets a pass, but they have to show some improvement. But the offense, the quarterback Zach Wilson is hurt already. Glad it was not an ACL tear. It was a non-contract injury. He was trying to get more yards, which is the point. I was like, dang, he shouldn't have played, but he has to play. He's a second-year quarterback. And, unfortunately, we got to blame Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. And I feel like Deshaun had a good second year, and so did Allen. It's like that second year, it's like, okay, what are we going to see now? But those have to be the exception to the rule. And we got to realize, not every quarterback is going to do that. But if Trey Lance has a good second year, you can't really put it against Zach Wilson because Trey Lance is a really good supporting cast. And he sat for a year. And I'd say Zach Wilson didn't sit, but it depends where you're at. So we'll see. I gotta have patience with Zach Wilson. The running backs, Bryce Hall, Michael Carter. Let's see if they bring balance to the running attack. We'll see. Bryce Hall's a pick that they got this year. I like the pick. I thought it was going to be a first rounder, but that's rare for running backs nowadays. Well, I don't want to say rare, but towards the end of the first round, you're probably going to run it back. I don't know if we're going to see a high pick running back again. I think it was the last one Saquon. Was that the last high pick running back?
High pick as in top 10?
Top 10 type? Yeah.
Yeah. The Saquon, yeah. So it's going to be a second before we see that again. That's what I think. Now, I like the receiving core. Let's see if Garrett Wilson can make immediate impact. Receivers, to me, one of those positions that I know, like Jamar Chase got on quick, but it took Justin Jefferson, a couple games. I think he's going to adjust it, but I listened to the Pivot podcast he was on. He sounds like a well-grounded young man, so he seems pretty disciplined, and he's in New York, so we're going to see if he makes an immediate impact. He has Elijah Moore. Can he build on last year's success and stay healthy? CJ Uzma comes from the Bengals, pretty good tight end. So I think he'll fit right in, can bring some veteran leadership. The O-line is hurt, and this sucks because it's Zach Wilson's second year. Beckton's out for the season, but they got Dwayne Brown. So I'm not saying he's an all-pro left tackle, but he's a good starter. He's up there in age, but I think he's good. So we're gonna see. But that offensive line is shaky at best, man, and that's a problem. You have a young quarterback, man. You need to surround him with the tools to succeed. If you don't have a good old line, that's just setting them up for failure. The defense that's held down by Quentin Williamson and Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas Of course, played with Salah, and he's familiar with the system at San Francisco. A quality starter. The edge rushers got Carl Lawson back, and Lawson is already causing a stir in training camp. When I mean a stir, he's ready to play because he missed football for so long, so he really missed it, and he can't wait to get back on the field. He's having a good camp so far. Jermaine Johnson, right now he's not running with the starters, but he was a first round pick, so let's see if he's able to work his way into that starting spot as the year goes on. The off-ball linebackers, C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, they were good. They're back once again. The corners needed some help. I like Sauce Gardner. I think Sauce Gardner is going to be a phenomenal cornerback. But once again, corners to me is probably the most difficult position to play on defense. It's hard. Offense, I think, is quarterback. I think defense is corner. The speed, the way you got to backpedal. Yeah, you got to know the defense, you got to know the tendency of the receiver, you got to know the tendency of the quarterback, everything. So, you got to be able to recover. You got to have technique. You got to be fast. You got to have balance. It's just corners got to have good footwork. I think corners is that difficult. So I think Sauce Gardner, and you got to have swag. Corners are they're swagadocious. So I think he brings all of that. The safeties, Jordan Whitehead, LaMarcus Joyner, they're decent safeties. They'll hold it down. But I think they're going to miss Marcus May. Overall prediction, I think the Jets made some good draft picks. And I think they're building for the future. They got a second-year head coach, second-year quarterback. I think it's going to take some time once again. I think I'm just looking for them to improve on last year. So for all the Jets fans, be patient. I got them going 6-11. All right, Mo, the New York Jets. What's your prediction?
I think they're hitting the draft. I think the draft is excellent. But like you said, James, it's going to take a while. And it's a whole, how is New York going to be patient? Because, they fought in games, but now, especially with the injury they got, I don't know, Wilson's going to be out how many games? I think they said 2 to 4 weeks. Was it 2 to 4 or was it more than that?
No, it's about that.
I think
was
the
just
hope
reading
is he
about
can
it.
be back week 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not
right.
rushing him, but they're
it's tough. They add a lot of talent, and I hope they give the head coach a fair shake because we know how New York can be. They're way away. Like it's right talent wise, they're still last place in the division. Like let's be honest. Like from a talent standpoint, you're fourth in the division right now as far as talent standpoint. And then we're talking about the whole AFC as a whole. You're trying to make playoffs. You're not in that mix as far as talent wise. As far as talent wise, you still a ways away. So I just hope they give the head coach a fair evaluation. I like Wilson. I like what he did towards the end of the season. He looked good. I like who they added. I like the running back Bryce Hall. I like Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. I like the pass rusher out of Florida State. I like what they did in his draft. I know the offensive lineman out of Louisville got hurt, but they replaced him with a Pro Bowl caliber player, Dwayne Brown. So I'm right where you are, James. I'm right there with 6 wins. I'm right there with, we say, James, 6 wins, 6, 7 wins.
6.
I think they're about right there. 6, 7 wins, but I think they're going to be in a situation where it's going to be 6 or 7 wins, but we can see them competing a lot this year where you can look back and be like, they could easily have 10 wins, losing a couple of close games. I don't see them getting blown out a lot. Like, I think they're going to compete this year. I think it's still going to be 6 or 7 wins, but I think it's going to be a situation where you can look back and be like, man, they could easily have 10, 11 wins because of how close they were in games. So I'm going to say 6 wins, but I think you're going to be close in a lot of games.
All right. Craig, New York Jets.
Yeah. The Jets are I think they're going to be in last place still, but I think they have a lot of talent, a lot of young talent that they can build around. The head coach, this is his second season. Last year he had some okay wins. Like, I mean, as far as teams that he beat the eventual AFC champion Bengals. He beat the Tennessee Titans. He was in some games, or he led his team to some close defeats, I guess you can say. Some moral victories. Like they lost to Tampa Bay by 4. They lost to the Dolphins twice by 7 close games. So they were in some games last year. The first game of the season, they lost to the Panthers by 5. So they had some opportunities there that the record, even though they only won 4 games last year, they could have won more. Couple of bounces here and there, a couple of plays here and there, whatever it is. You know, they're a 7-win team or something like that. But the record is, what is it saying? They are who the record says they are, whatever it is. So obviously Zach Wilson being as high of a pick as he was, the pressure's on him. I know he got hurt a few days ago, so hopefully he's okay. But even if he can't go out, I think re-signing Joe Flacco, at least for potential reasons, like they could obviously play him if Zach Wilson got hurt, or just for another, like a veteran quarterback, giving him advice, helping him along, building him up, things like that, from a Super Bowl winning quarterback to have as your backup, I think can only help Zach Wilson grow for the next couple of years. So even though he only signed a 1-year deal, I think this could be a really, really good year learning and getting mentorship from a guy like Joe Flacco. So I think that was pretty big. I think the running backs they had Carter last year, who I thought had a pretty good season. Then they go out this year and they get Bryce, what's his name? Bryce Hall. So a rookie. So I mean, now they have a 2-back system there. And then you want to throw in Tevin Coleman, like that's another guy. So they have 3 guys that you could rely on there in that backfield. So definitely looking like things are looking up for this team. That I mean, I wouldn't have said that a few years ago. Their wide receivers, they had Elijah Moore last year. Although he's not a tall guy, he's a speedster. They went out and got Garrett Wilson this year. They got Corey Davis, so they have a nice group of wide receivers there that they can throw the ball to. I like the tight end CJ Uzomah. How you say his name? I think he can be, as long as he stays healthy, I think he can be a solid check down guy for Zach Wilson. Elijah Vera Tucker, I've always liked him, the playing guard for the team. So they have, you mentioned Dwayne Brown, who I thought was a big pickup for this team as far as the left tackle goes. So they have pieces there. I think maybe in like 2 or 3 years, you can see this team going from worst to first, or maybe even a couple years from now. Or I mean, not a couple years, next year. It just depends on how everything breaks out. I mean, I can see them probably challenging. If everything stays where it is, they keep getting picks and they keep getting veterans that want to come there and approve. I think this team could be one of those, I hate to say it, like the Bengals or something like that. So it definitely depends. On the defensive side, though, they still got Kellen Williams from Alabama, I believe, on the defensive line. Solomon Thomas. So they have some guys there that they can work with. Got a draft going on. Then you look at the linebackers. They have Quincy Williams. They have C.J. Mosley, who I've liked. I like the pickup of Sauce Gardner early. They had a really good draft this year. They had a really good draft. They addressed issues on both offense and defense. Try to get Zach Wilson some pieces that he can work with on the offensive side. Try to give the defense some pieces that can build and help those veteran guys with some of these younger guys, and vice versa. The younger guys can learn off these veteran guys. This might be like a low type of like thing to say, but I like the pickup of Greg Zerline, who's a veteran kicker. Especially some of these close games, you're gonna need a good leg right there from a guy who can kick field goals and who's accurate, or has been in the past at least. But overall, I just don't know if this team is ready to take this step this year. I think maybe next year they could probably get 8 wins. Probably even more, probably 9 if they can actually get everything together and get some more pieces in there. But coming up this year, I got them going 5-12. I could see 6-11. You know what? I'm going to say 6-11. I'm going to say 6-11. I think they get two more wins than they had last year, and improve what they did last year, and make some more games that were competitive last year. Maybe they find a way to win some of those games.
Okay, what they won 4 games last year?
4.
They won 4?
Won 13, yeah.
Yeah. You're in agreement. Yeah. Go ahead, Corey.
For the New York Jets, when it comes to the coach, I think Robert Saleh did a decent job last year for a first-time coach. He kind of bucked the trend and was a defensive-minded head coach that got a job. But I think that's because of how well respected he was with his players on the defensive side in San Francisco. I think he was dealing with a bad roster with a rookie quarterback that had no help. But it seemed like the guys kind of bought in on him, and that's really all you're looking for in a situation like that. Overall, I'll just keep it simple with the Jets. I don't think much of anybody expects hardly anything out of the Jets this year. I know I don't. I had them at 3-14 when I was picking through games for the season. Really, they need to get Zach Wilson healthy and just see what they have with him. He has a ton of talent. I really liked him coming out of BYU. I think it was smart to move on from Sam Darnold and restart the rookie clock with him. He's got a ton of potential. I think they did a good job in the draft, did a good job of getting pieces to help build around him. But his development is literally all that matters this season for the New York Jets. So, whatever that looks like, you just focus on that and let the record fall where it does.
Okay. All right.